Okay, here I am. Let me test this. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, it looks like it's good. Right now, I'm not getting any movement on the little. There's like a microphone thing here. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll ask the people. There's 23 people here supposedly. Um, good evening, everyone. I will say konbanwa in the chat. Hello, chat. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Even though the little thing is not moving. Let's hope you can. Hello, Scott from Hawaii. Iceman's here. Go is here. Can hear. Yes. All right. Everybody says loud and clear. Good. All right. Well, hello, hello. We'll wait for a few more people to gather as we celebrate day 14 of the sumo together. Cheers. Kampai. Have a tasty beverage appropriate to whatever hour you are in your life. Maybe a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Cotswolds in England. Oh, hello. Hello, Eileen. Chi, howdy. Bruce says hello. Mara says hello from Brooklyn, New York in the house. Carol, of course, is from the Morning State, not Mour. She's not sad. Her state is Ohio, so she is saying good morning to everyone. Canada. Aussies from Canada. All right. Tube Wings is here. Hello, Tube Wings. 2 Darwin matches tomorrow. Tochi Taikai versus Miyano Kaze and Juryo, 7-7 versus 7-7, and only one in the top division. Yeah, a lot of people in the top division have winning records, which is a real change from the Maybach show. If we went and looked at Fred Pink's chart, maybe I should pull up Fred's website. When we looked at the just paucity of winning records in the Maybach show, this bus show, we're absolutely swimming in winning records. So yeah, not as many Darwin matches this time, but I will probably feature. I don't know that I'm going to put up the Juryo one, but I'll probably put up the Roga one just for fun. Hello from Germany, Jimmy. Now, isn't McNulty? Isn't that the name of the character in The Wire? Jimmy, is that an alias? Are you using an alias on the internet? How audacious. All right. Are you coming in October to London, Miss Catalin asks, or Mr. I would love to. I really do want to, but I don't think I can. Now, they just said they were going to release some more seats, so I'm assuming those got snatched up, Mr. Sumimasen. Yeah, I really would love to, but I think the timing with what's going on in my life at school here, plus the cost of flying there and yada yada yada. I just don't think I can do it, but I really would love to. Seats are available. Yeah. Hello from Australia. Hello, Barbara from Down Under. Very nice to see you. Howdy from NC. So Brian won a prize in 2024. I believe it was the Maybach show. And Brian sent me an email and said, hey, this is what I'd like. You showed this stuff on the wrap-up video, and here's my address, blah, 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 SA, postcode. I went, oh, okay, cool, man. Some people are watching in South Africa. So happy, and so I package it up. It's like not a collapsible fan. In Japanese, they're called uchiwa. It's like a static fan with Ura's face on it, and I think I gave him a clear file, and I packaged it all up and mailed it off, and never really thought about it. Not everybody sends me a message that says, "Hey, I got what you sent me. Thanks." Or even just acknowledging that it arrived, which is really helpful. If you ever win a prize, please do that, so I know that it got to you, because I do spend money on the prizes and the packaging and the shipping, so it's nice to know that it got to the person. Anyway, literally, it must have been 8 months later, the package comes back to me in the mail. It's this pretty big, padded envelope. And I get it and I look at it and it says, couldn't find, return to sender. And it just took a long time to get around and come back. And I'm like, wow, went all the way to South Africa and came all the way back. So I find Brian's email and I email him and I say, dude, did you move? What happened? And he goes, no, I'm pretty much the same place in Australia I've always been. And I'm Australia. And he's like, yeah, SA, South Australia. And I'm like, oh, dude, I sent it to South Africa. So, so I just remailed it, and I hope he gets it soon. Brian, if you're watching, I mailed your package, and it's coming to Australia this time. So, yeah, he neglected to put the word Australia in his original address. So anyway, hey, a wonder of the post office that I got it back. And at least I was able to reach out and say, dude, so sorry it never got to you. Anyway, he probably was thinking for like 6 months that I'm a dick and that I didn't, fulfill my obligations. But trust me, I really try hard to mail out all the prizes to everybody and things like that. Okay. So Barbara, you being from Australia made me think of that. Charlotte's in the UK. Hello, Charlotte. Blue, yellow, Aonishiki towels. Yeah. A lot of people have Fujinokawa towels, and I'm like, they have to be like supporters or something, because that's not on sale yet. There's no way they're that fast. Haven't seen anybody with a Kusano towel. But Fujinokawa, man, he must have a little support group or something, because I've seen him. Cool, Charlotte. I'm so happy you're getting to go. I want to live vicariously through you guys. So please report back, and we maybe should do a live stream like right after it happens, and people come on and tell their stories and talk to me about what it was like. Same with Paris, right? That's happening in 2026. Is that also in the summer? If anybody knows about Paris. If they're doing it in America, that's maybe a little bit better for me, but I'm still hoping they'll do Vegas again. Hello from Denmark. That's awesome. Hello, Denmark. I don't know how to say hello in. Oh no! Don't tell me. Danish. Denmark people speak Danish. Is that right? That's right. Okay. I'm always like, Belgian people do not speak Belgian. They speak Flemish or something. There's one that's weird. Silver nor Gold says, good morning from Houston. I used to live in Texas and Dallas, so howdy. Tickets for London are still available, about 252 British pounds to 362 British pounds. Well, okay, for a once in a lifetime, really, event, not terrible. Laura, I think, is the person I just sent a prize to as well. Laura, like, the email went into her, like, spam folder or something. She finally was like, I think you need to send me a prize. And I'm like, I think I do too. And so I just sent her a lovely little prize. So Laura, look out for that. South Carolina says hello. Like the pastry for the Danes. Okay, cool. Good morning from Brazil. Wow, we are an international group. We got about 80 people in here from all over the globe. So that is awesome. Oh, Dallas, another Dallas person. Yeah, I grew up in Richardson, near Plano, in Dallas. I went to J.J. Pierce High School before I moved back to San Diego. I finished high school in San Diego. And yeah, I really like Dallas. We lived in a nice suburb and had a really nice house with a pool in the backyard. That's when my dad was making the good money. All right. Okay, well, let's get started. So good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to day 14, the SUMO Summary Show. Not too many huge surprises today. I'm assuming most of you have seen the matches because we're obviously going to jump into spoilers. I put a lot up on the Patreon, so let me share that first. And we'll make sure it is working correctly. All right, you guys can all see me. Yeah, will NHK cover the London bus show? Charlotte's asking for NHK so Japan people can watch the matches. That's a good question. Yes, they're going to have some coverage. They're like, will Abema do like actual like match coverage, and will NHK? I don't know, but I will be scouring the uh, TV guide and information here in Japan to try to find out before those days in October, because I will obviously, even with the 8-hour time difference, tape it, watch it, report on it here for you guys if I can. So, but actual like, I don't think they're going to have actual like match coverage. Is one of the days a weekend? If one of the days is a Saturday or Sunday, then maybe they'd have a couple hours. But my guess is they'll pull footage and they'll put it into a special, or NHK World might do something, which is different than NHK for Japan. But they don't obviously talk much about the regional tours on the regular news because they're not Honbasho, they're not official. They affect the rankings of the wrestlers. It's really just, this is a promotional tour. So, but they will absolutely be like, wow, look at these big sumo wrestlers in London. They're getting on a double-decker bus. Oh my gosh, how wacky. They'll definitely have stuff like that. Okay. So, in the collection today, I put up 10 videos. Yeah, 10 videos. We started with Asanoyama down in Juryo. So he came up from Makuuchi to fight a Juryo man, Daiamami. Then I had the big showdown between Mita and Dai-Seizan. Then Mataki Umi, Roga Shodai, Roga going for Kachikoshi. Ichi Yamamoto, of course, against, who did he fight today? We'll get it in a minute. Maybe Tamawashi? Yeah. Aonishiki, of course, and then all the big matches, Takayasu, Koto Shoho, Koto Zakura, and the final match of the day was Onosato. So 10 videos, pretty good coverage today for day 14 over there on Patreon. Oops. All right, I'm back. Let me just get caught up here before I jump in. Paris is in June. Okay. I mean, who knows? Maybe I've never been to Paris. So, wait. No, I've never been to Paris. So, I'll yeah. How far does anybody know Paris? Raise your hand. I would love to go to Normandy. I would as a history teacher, there's some parts of Paris that I would love to visit for historical, stuff. D-Day fascinates me. And I would love to go there and see the memorial and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how far away from Paris that is, if it's like a day trip or if it's something more involved. But yeah, I mean, I would love to go to Paris, of course. Who wouldn't? And see the sumo there as well. South Carolina, hello DE. What else we got? Wednesday to Sunday for the London Bus Show. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see them doing like a spotlight on a weekend. Hey, look at all the wrestlers. They're in England. And, follow them around with a camera and talk to them about what they think of England and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we could have another 3-way playoff. We will get to that in just a moment. 4.5 to 5 hours by car, Ozzy says, to get to Normandy from Paris. That's significant. I'm assuming that you could take a train. Okay. But yeah, something I'd love to do. Alrighty. Well, let's do. Well, no, we should do the matches first. Okay. I'm late. Did you actually review the results? Pablo, are you the man who picked Ichi Yamamoto? Are you the famous Pablo who picked Ichi Yamamoto as the tiebreaker? I owe you a prize, my friend. But no, we have not done the results yet. We're about to start. We've just been jawing, just been jabbering. Okay, here we go. All right. Make sure you guys can see me. Now my little screen's down here in this corner. That's kind of interesting. All right. And here we go. So, absent today, the big one I didn't even realize because I didn't check was Ura pulled out of the tournament. He got slammed down so hard in his loss the previous day that he hurt his knee or something. So he already has Kachikoshi, though, but he did have to pull out of the tournament today. So that's a loss. All right, we should start down in Juryo. So Miyano Kaze, as Tube Wings already pointed out, went to 7-7 after losing to a Makuuchi man, Ishizaki, who is at 6-1 at MS2. So he will definitely go up to Juryo and get promoted in September, along with MS1 Asanoyama, who got a 5th win. So 4 wins is Kachikoshi. They both exceeded that. He beat Dayamami, who's probably going to get demoted because he's 5-9 at J13. Another Makuuchi man came up and fought Shiden, and he got the win. So all 3 Makuuchi men won in the Juryo division today. Fujiseon got a 9th win over Otsuji. He's going to be getting demoted. That's a terrible record, and he's right down. Juryo 14 is the bottom. Juryo 12 is going to get him demoted. Shimano Umi is going to go down. He's at 3-11 at Juryo 12. Hitoshi went to 9 wins, though. In the big playoff here, Dai Seizon versus Mita. It wasn't a Henka, but Mita definitely took the initial charge of the Tachiai and then sort of sidestepped, and Dai Seizon went down. Hataki Komi slapped down win. So Mita, who doesn't even have a top knot yet, on his way up, is now in the driver's seat all alone in first place in the Juryo division. Dai Seizon is 10-4 now. Tochi Taikai is the other 7-7 after losing today, so he'll meet Miyono Kaze in a Darwin match tomorrow. Hatsuyama, 9th win. A lot of guys with a 9th win. Oshomi got his Kachikoshi. Tamashoho can't get Kachikoshi, but he can get a 7-8. Koto Kuzan won this battle of the 9-win guys. And Kageyaki got a 9th win. And Ryuden 7-7 at J1. So he has to get a win tomorrow to go back up to the top division. Nishiki Fuji, after he came back from injury, did get a 9th win. So I guess it was worth coming back. So there's the Juryo division. I'll stop sharing occasionally and just check in and make sure I'm caught up on chats. 3.5 hours, Paris to Normandy by train. Okay. Yeah, I'd be down for that. That's just, Paris is, come on. So much stuff to do there. So much tourist stuff, so much other stuff. Museums, the Eiffel Tower, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, that'd be like a day trip I'd love to take. Pablo is the famous Pablo who picked Ichi Yamamoto, man. That's a very good pick. Now, Ichi Yamamoto, of course, has fallen apart at the end of the Basho. He was doing so well, and now, including today, he's lost 4 in a row. So poor guy, man. He was just on the pinnacle. Everybody was talking about him. Oh, he's maybe going to win the Yusho, and yada. And he's peaked at 9 wins. So Ozzy has 2 injury people. Yeah, I have Takeda Fuji. And then today I had really bad, because I think Aonishiki was fighting Kusano, so I could only get 1 point there. And 2 other teammates on my list were fighting each other. I can't remember who it was, but anyway. 2-month recovery for Takeda Fuji. And that's more in keeping with what everyone was telling me in the comments when the bicep injury first happened. And then he came back the next day, and I was like, what? Okay. Well, everybody was telling me this is a really bad injury. And I guess it was, and he just was trying to fight through it. Because the wrestlers, are dumb. They don't want to admit that they're really hurting. They want to fight, they want to, I can do it. And finally, his Oyakata must have talked some sense into him. And yeah, hopefully he can come back in September. He'll go down the Banzuke, but not too terrible. He's got 5 wins. But if he has to sit out all of September, he'll be back down in Juryo. All right. Weg was in. Hello. Good evening. Okay. Let's jump back in. And we'll go over the top division for day 14. All right. Everybody can see my screen. Good. All right. So going to Makuuchi. Kotoeho finishing kind of strong. He's obviously had a weak basho overall, but he got a 5th win today. He might finish 6-9, which is not terrible, but it still probably is going to get him demoted back down to Juryo. Nishikigi came up, didn't get the win he needed. So him and Ryuden are both at J1 and both 7-7. So they both need a win on day 15 tomorrow. Hide Naomi, why he came back, it's a little baffling to me. He's gotten 1 win. So he's definitely going down to Juryo. I don't know. But Kaio got a 3rd win today. He's also going to go back down to Juryo. Chirana Umi, though, beat Matake Umi and got a 9th win. So good for him. We have a lot of special prize. Who's going to get special prizes? I think a lot of guys, it's going to be conditional if they get a 10th win or an 11th win. But we'll just have to see how generous they're feeling. Like Fujinokawa, he's a debut wrestler. He got his Kachikoshi. That's often enough to get a Fighting Spirit prize, but maybe they want him to get 10 wins. So they'll say you have to win your day 15 match. But Takanosho lost here. So he did get a legitimate 8th win after he got a free win yesterday on the dohyo. But of course, it counts as 9 wins because he gets the free win. Shishi went to 6-8 again, down at M17. Even if he goes 7-8, that is questionable, but probably going to get demoted. Roga's our 7-7 man here. He lost to Shodai today. Here's Ura pulling out, giving Midori Fuji a 9th win. Asakoru went to 6-8 by beating Chiyoshima. This is going to be interesting to see how far he goes down. And whether he gets a 2nd win tomorrow. I don't think it'll really matter that much. I don't think he's going to get demoted all the way to Juryo, though. Tamawashi got the 10th win in the battle with Ichi Yamamoto. So, when we look at Ichi, just, obviously right here, 9-1, and then 4 losses in a row. Just terrible ending. It's so unfortunate. I mean, a great improvement on some of his recent numbers. I mean, a 7-8, a 5-10, 8-7 is barely. But unless he wins tomorrow, he'll finish with a 9-6, which isn't really indicative of how kind of impactful he was this basho and how much people were rooting for him. And I mean, these are all really strong competitors. He lost to a Komusubi, a Yokozuna, the guy who might win the basho, and the Iron Eagle. So, no shade on those 4 losses, but still back to back to back like that, just got to be disheartening for him. Okay. Don't think he'll get a special prize anymore unless, again, they say, well, if you get a 10th win, we might give you one. Onokatsu got a 6th win. Oho got a 6th win. Abi is still 8-6. Hakuoho was the winner there, so he got his Kachikoshi today. Then we had Ao Nishiki versus the rookie Kusano, and Kusano won 11-3. So he took him off the top of the leaderboard. We had to wait to see what Koto Shoho was going to do. But the Maigashiro 14, just outstanding. He'll definitely get a special prize, as will Ao Nishiki. I would bet 10,000 yen on it, which is about used to be $100. Wakamoto Haru 6-8, beating Meisei, just terrible tournament. Yeah, okay. Atami Fuji had a chance. Now, I got a glimpse of it in my coverage on Patreon. If you're a Patreon person, you might have seen it. but man, was he pissed at himself for losing this match against Takayasu. And when he went back and was walking back through the halls, the sort of temporary halls to the dressing room, he was like whipping his cigar around, and he was just being all pissy, and it was just very uncharacteristic of him. But he was really angry at himself because he should have won that match, and he let Takayasu back in it, and then Takayasu got. I mean, he threw this amazing shitate nage. So, yeah, you see a glimpse of it, I think, before I hit stop on the record. But backstage, he was just really pissed. Okay, and then Koto Shoho came up. He knew what he had to do. He had to win to be all alone in the leaderboard. He got an Watenage against Kirishima, went to 12-2. So now it's all his. If he beats Aonishiki tomorrow, he is the champion from Maegashira 15. Great story there. Or we could have a playoff. Kotozakura got his much-needed 8th win, so he won't be Kadoban in September. He got a Suinage win over Hirada Umi, who's now 7-7. And then both Kirishima and Wakataka Kage lost today, so their Ozeki hopes are looking much more shaky. Wakataka Kage is in a little bit better shape if he can get a 10th win tomorrow. But Onosato, kind of is an also-ran this tournament now. He fights the Ozeki tomorrow in a match that nobody really cares about anymore because all the focus is on other matches. But he can go 11-4 for the tournament, which isn't terrible, but certainly his 4 Kimboshi are, and that's the thing that people will remember about his performance in this tournament. Okay. Check in on the comments before we look at the leaders. Dun, dun, dun. As Jason already said, if he thinks Koto Shoho will win tomorrow. I haven't. I am going to say he has obviously, because he has the 1-win advantage, for Aonishiki to win the tournament, not the match, but the tournament, he has to beat Koto Shoho twice. Once in regulation to give him the loss, and then in a playoff. I think Koto Shoho in that situation would win one of, he'll either win the match or he'll bounce back and win the playoff because he's been there before. He's been in that exact situation before. He didn't win, but he knows what it's like. Aonishiki, this is all so new to him. So I would think some of the nerves and pressure will get to him, and Koto Shoho will triumph. But if Kusano is also involved in the playoff, it becomes a much different beast, and there's all kinds of permutations. So, yeah. And all the 4-loss guys are eliminated because, of course, Aonishiki and Koto Shoho are fighting each other. So, there's no way the 4-loss guys matter anymore. Yeah, Atami Fuji was really upset with himself. So I hope he kind of calmed down when he got back to the Shitakubeya. But I mean, it's good to see some emotion on these guys. They're so stoic most of the time. The link to what is in the description? Oh, I could not find the Aonishiki documentary you mentioned, Bruce. Yeah, just click on the link. Or type NHK World Blue Whirlwind into Google, and I bet you find it because that's the title of it. But yeah, I put it, in the description box of the video yesterday. I put the link. It's really good. You should definitely seek it out and watch it. Tuning in from California, Mr. Ruiz, thank you. Mr. Eli says, "Hey Jason, do you teach in English or Japanese?" In English. My school is a private school now that I've worked at since 2016. And we offer something called the IB program, the International Baccalaureate. So the kids are in immersion through junior high, where they do most of their lessons, math, science, English. social studies, art, all in English. They have foreign teachers like me for their kind of core subjects. And then when they get to high school, they have to decide, do they want to keep doing that and go into this program where they're going to take tests and really be assessed in English, or do they want to go into the same program but do it in Japanese, which is an option, or just go to a different high school or go into the regular kind of classes where everything's in Japanese. So it's a big decision when they get to graduate ninth grade. And then my classes get much smaller, and I teach history, the IB history course in English. And the kids are tested in English, have to write essays in English, a big report called an IA in English. So it's all in English. I could not teach at the level of discourse that I engage in my history classes, in my normal classes, in the Japanese language. My Japanese is absolutely not that good. So I have conversational Japanese at best. Okay. Yeah, Koto Shoho. Hi. So people in the chat, I'm being nice. It's Koto Shoho, like that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Kusano looked good today. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Nah, good. Bring the random questions. I like it. And thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, he still has a chance. I mean, he's gonna bring it tomorrow to Koto Shoho. That's gonna be a firecracker of a match. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so let me go back over and share, and we'll look at the leaderboard and everything and wrap that up. Okay, make sure I'm not black. There I am. Okay, so obviously we're down to just him, and then Aonishiki fights him. We'll look at who Kusano has in a minute, and if he wins and Koto Shoho loses, we'll have a three-way playoff, which would be really exciting and a lot of fun. A lot of the fans will hope for that. But even if Kusano loses, then they could have a playoff if Aonishiki can win in regulation. We might have a playoff down in Juryo, and of course I'll cover that. Mita, again, can win his match and win the championship, but if he doesn't, Daisei Izan and Koto Kuzan could be involved. We'll look at who they're fighting tomorrow on day 15. And then some of these are already decided. Like Kobayashi has already won the Sandamne Championship. Asahakuru has already won the Makuuchi Division Championship. And it looks like we're going to have some playoffs in some of the lower divisions. So that's fun. Okay. And then the big thing, who's fighting who on day 15? Because they obviously didn't announce it during the broadcast. So down, we're really just going to key in on the key matches here. Daisei Izan, to maintain his 4 losses and go to 11-4, has to beat Nishiki Fuji tomorrow. And then we do have a Darwin match here, as pointed out. Koto Kuzan, to maintain, has to beat Ryuden, but Ryuden's really going to want to win that because that's his 8th win to get him back up to Makuuchi. Nishikigi, same thing. He's really going to want to win this match against Fuji Seiyun, who already has 9. But Mita, in the third to final match, fights Shonana Umi at 9-5. If he wins this match, he goes to 12-3. No one can catch him, and he will be the Juryo champion. At J11 with a 12-3, I don't think he's going to get promoted all the way up to the top division, but he'll probably go up to Juryo 1 and have a chance to jump up for the November tournament if he has a good September. Okay, so some key matches in Juryo. I'll have all of those on the Patreon. Over in Makuuchi, who we got? Shishi as Asakoryu. Let's see. A lot. I mean, like 9-5 fighting an 8-6, and a 9-5 fighting a 10-4, and a lot of really strong numbers this time. Kotoeo as Chiyoshima, Ichi Yamamoto taking on Fujinokawa. See, and this could be a thing where Both of these guys might get a special prize if they get a 10th win, and then they set it up so only one of them can get a 10th win. Sometimes they're kind of stingy like that. Darwin match between Hirada Umi and Roga. Hakuoho Oho, Gonoyama, Wakamoto Haru. So then we have the big one, and it's a ways back because neither of them are high ranked, right? So they have to let the Komasubi and the Sekewake and the Ozeki go last. So Aonishiki in the 5th to last match fights Koto Shoho. And at this point, Kusano hasn't fought. So if Koto Shoho wins, then it doesn't matter what happens here, except to him, of course. And he is the champion. If he loses, then they'll go back to the dressing room and hang out. Kusano will then go, okay, I have to beat Takayasu to be involved in the playoff, or he's just fighting for a 12th win, which would be phenomenal in your debut. Tamawashi has Oshoma in kind of like a yawn match. Then this is interesting. They put Wakataka Kage up against Kirishima. I didn't realize they hadn't fought each other yet. But that makes sense. Save that for day 15. And it's really Wakataka Kage, I think, needs it because he has 12 in May, so 10 in July. That'd be 22 over 2 tournaments. And that would set him up well for getting his Ozeki promotion if he has a good September. Because at 22, you need 33. He'd have to get 11 wins in September, and he should get the promotion. Whereas Kirishima, I think, is a longer shot. So I'm kind of rooting for Wakataka Kage in this one. And then, like I said, Ono Sato and Koto Zakura in a final match that really no one is that interested in anymore. And obviously, either people will be excited because there's a playoff about to happen after they're done, or people will be like, okay, well, we want to see what Koto Shoho has to say in the championship interview, and they have to watch Ono Sato and Koto Zakura. Not the Ono Sato Hoshoru matchup on the final day we were hoping for, obviously. So some key matches. I'll obviously have a bunch of coverage for you on the Patreon tomorrow. I'll be home all day watching sumo. And that's day 15. Okay. Oh, I always forget to go back over it. I'm going to show the standings really quick. Let me just check in on comments. Dough. Am I supposed to pronounce that dough? Like the thing you make bread out of? But dough, I don't quite know what you mean. When was the longest 3? You mean like it kept going? The playoff kept going? I don't know. They generally don't. Somebody is dominant. They generally get decided fairly quickly. I've only ever seen like 3 of them in my whole 20 years of watching sumo. 3-way playoffs are not common. But I'm sure there was one that took longer to adjudicate in maybe the 70s or 80s or 90s before I kind of started watching. Mustard, hello. I mean, Mr. Rua, how do you pronounce your first name? J is like an H. Hyro? Is that how you say it? Yeah, I mean, they can talk to him, but they're Yokozuna. They know. They're probably more mad at themselves than any, sumo elder is at them. Definitely they'll talk to the Oyakata and say, look, your boy gave away 4 Kimboshi. You got to talk to him and tell him we're not putting up with that. So yeah, I'm sure that they will. You're right. They'll both get the stern warning, but it'll probably come from their Oyakata, and the Oyakata is the one who gets scolded, as it were, by the JSA. Would be my guess. No, I don't think he was going to get reprimanded for his outburst. It was behind the scenes. He was with his Skibito and they were walking back. He just kind of forgot that there's cameras everywhere back there. So, and it was natural. It was just, and he wasn't directing it. It wasn't like he was mad at the Gyoji, like, how dare he call me out or something like that, or even mad at his opponent, Takayasu. He was mad at himself because he knew he could have won that match. and that would have kept him in the playoff, or given him a chance to be in a playoff, maybe. No, I don't think he's going to pioneer a new style. That's just going to be his style. Hana Makuuchi was a guy like that. He was really quick, really strong, not as big, the Yokozuna, and he fought really low, and it worked for him. He won a bunch of tournaments that way, and was able to counter, do something different than Hakuho, who was obviously the dominant wrestler of his time. J-Lax from Singapore, hello. Okay, Hyro, I got it. Awesome. Does a Kimboshi only get paid during their active career or also in their retirement? Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea. No idea. I would assume only in their active career. If I had to guess, I would say probably that. Yeah. Okay, so let's jump back over real quick and look at the standings. Most of you if you're here, you're probably in the contest. And not much change from yesterday, actually. I think a lot of people like me. I think I only got 2 wins today. So, yeah, Tommy Fuji lost. Takeda Fuji couldn't win. Ao Nishiki lost. Bakusano won. Onosato did win. Wakataka Kage lost, right? Yeah, I only got 2 wins today, but there I am at the top of the 3rd place group still, with Kyle and Nona, the Bryce, Himeji, Bowling, Oliver, etc. And I think these are the same 4 people in second. And Dopey, Jason's Birthday, Simon, and Terufujan are all tied for first. So good luck to them. There is some difference in their teams a little bit, especially here. And a few different things. Here's the one person that is Koto Shoho. And so it looks like it'll probably be, 7 or 8 people I'll be giving a prize to, which is a very reasonable number. So we'll check back on that. Good luck to everyone for tomorrow. I will, of course, do a wrap-up video about a week from now, August 1st or 2nd. I could probably do it on the Friday the 1st because I don't have to go to work anymore. But I'm on summer vacation from now. But yeah, I'll just see, here's some sumo news, see who won, announce the winners of the prizes, all that kind of stuff. So that video always comes out about a week after the basho ends. Black screen for me. Oh, when I went over, okay, hold on. His iPad to see what he is sharing. Okay, I can do it again real quick. Maybe I didn't check. All right. There we go. Okay. So I was just pointing out who's doing well in the tournament. In the contest, and there are your leaders. And you guys all have that link. It's always down in the description. So, okay. Dun, dun. Back to me. All right, I think that's everything. 109 of you here. Okay, very good. So who do you guys think? Go ahead. Here, I can put up a quick poll. I like doing the polls. Start a poll. Who will win the show? All right. Koto Shoho. Aonishiki. And we have one more. Kusano. Our poll. All right, there it is. Vote. See what you guys thinking. Who is going to do it? We'll give it a couple minutes and we'll check in. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Thanks for coming by and watching the Sumo Summary. It's funny because, and you guys, you'd have to be YouTubers. Not that I'm a big YouTuber, but I've been doing YouTube for a long time. And you'd have to be, on YouTube a long time like I've been to kind of, you just chuckle sometimes. So the thumbnail I used for yesterday's Sumo Summary Show was auto-generated. I get 3 choices from YouTube, which one I can pick, or I can upload my own, which sometimes I do. So they one of the stills was the Aonishiki documentary, and it was just like a perfect still of him for the day 13, because I was going to talk about that, and it was like, it was an NHK, and it looked great, and you could tell it was like a video of footage of Aonishiki, and I got way more views for that show yesterday, maybe because it's closer to the end of the bus show, I don't know, than I have for most of the other ones during the week. So maybe that thumbnail helped drive views. So one guy leaves a comment, and he left a comment literally about an hour ago, and he's like, "Oh man, I thought you were going to upload footage of the day 13 matches. WTF?" And I'm just like, what? I haven't uploaded match footage in, like, I want to say a year. I think I've been on Patreon now. And out of the blue, I'm going to start uploading on day 13 of a tournament. I just am like, really? That's the comment you're going to leave. And I just think, do people just not no filter, everything just comes out the fingers, and they type it and they put it up, and I don't know. I'd sometimes remove those comments because I just think they're so dumb. Sometimes I just leave them there and I go, other people maybe will tell him how dumb he is for me, but I tend not to react anymore because I would be too not nice, and that doesn't come off well. All right, let's look at the poll. Oh, okay. According to the poll, it's only been up for 2 minutes. 45 of you have voted. And oh, no. Okay. Aonishiki just dropped. He was significantly ahead. More people should vote in the poll. But he is winning against Koto Shoho right now. And 10% of you, about 4 or 5 of you, picked the rookie. All right. Abi, Takikeisho, and Takayasu at Kyushu in 2022. Two Wings is saying is a long, what are we trying to say? Long playoff. And he says, Two Wings says, for the record, there have been only 2 3-way playoffs since the new emperor took over 7 years ago. And that sounds about right. So, Nato's now gone. Oh, that's a shame. I know he was off YouTube and he was somewhere else, but I thought he was still putting up footage, just on a different platform. Wow. And some people are saying if it's a 3-way playoff, maybe Kusano will win. The other 3-way we had a while ago was Hoshoru, Oho, and Kimbozan. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that one I remember. All right. Nishiki. Yeah. Yeah. Fernando, I think a lot of sumo fans are like you. You could hear in the crowd today, because I think a lot of the people that go to sumo, right, go to see it live, they don't necessarily check, like the absent Rikishi list and, blah, blah. They just go, and when they get there, they get the list of who's fighting, and maybe they don't even know who's going to be on the Torikumi that day. And there was like audible groans in the audience when they read out that Uro had pulled out of the tournament, because people obviously didn't know that already. And they were just like, what? Like that kind of thing go rippling through the crowd as they read out that he was not going to show up today. So, yeah, I feel bad for the people that maybe brought their Ura towel and weren't going to get to use it. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously Shishi was the first man from the Ukraine to get into the top division, but Aonishiki has now eclipsed him in terms of rankings and coverage, etc. Since 2000. Okay, I started watching in 2004, but not really until 2005. I mean, 41 top division playoffs. Yeah, it's still pretty rare. All right, and we'll have one more look at the poll. So, okay. You guys 53 votes, and Alan Ishiki is the clear favorite there. All right. Well, we'll see. Wait, 31. I miscounted. Yeah, it is rare. I think there's a good chance we'll see one, but I think, there's just as likely chance that Koto Shoho will just win the match and it'll all be over. And that's always a little, I mean, you can't say this bus show is in any way anticlimactic because it's gone right down to the wire and we're still all talking about it here and we all have different people we think might win. But, I think people would really love to see more, which is always the thing. They always want the Tori Naoshi. They always want the rematch, and they'd love to see that playoff. So some people are hoping in a weird way that Koto Shoho loses that at least that first match, so there is the chance at a playoff. But I think there's an equal chance that he'll just win, of course, and it'll all be over. And good for him if he does that, because that's a lot of pressure. And I'm kind of rooting for Alan Ishiki. I've really become a big fan now, but I'm so excited for him to be Komusubi in September. Be up in Sanyaku, and yeah, I think that'll be really good. And hopefully, more people in Europe will be watching. Maybe they'll come to my channel, hey, and find out about sumo, watch in English. Maybe. Okay, I think that'll about do it for tonight. If anybody has any last questions, feel free to throw them in. Thank you, Tube Wings, as always, for your help with the stats. Oh, you know what? I didn't put a notification on YouTube about this. I put it on X, I put it on Patreon, and obviously this is here. But you know what? That's the one thing I forgot to do. I apologize. I forgot to go to the community tab and put like a post that goes somewhere on your YouTube page, your YouTube feed to say, hey, come over to the live stream. You forget things sometimes. But no worry, Colin. Thank you for coming by. You are a little late, but you can watch it as a video after it gets posted in a few moments. Yeah, 13-2 record, especially you're right, at M15 where they brought him up and he's had to fight some of the I mean, he got a Kimboshi against the Yokozuna. I mean, he is having a fantastic tournament. So I know for him, it will only really be a fantastic tournament if he can win the Yusho, because he's been there before. And he's lost. He lost to Takakeisho at one time where he could have won the Yusho. And that was, I think, a couple years ago, January of like 2023 or something. But yeah, it's going to be exciting, I think. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. Yeah, Scott, I think Wakataka Kage, like I said, he really needs that 10th win. He needs to beat Kirishima tomorrow. And I think 22 out of 33 is a good way to enter a bus show. And if you want to be an Ozeki, you should be performing at a top level. So I think asking him to get 11 wins in September is reasonable, because you want to be promoted to the second highest rank in the sport, where it's really hard to demote you if you don't, you get a bunch of chances if you don't do well. So I hope he can beat Kirishima tomorrow and set himself up well for a run in September, because we do need another Ozeki. But he has to earn it, right? So, okay. Methinks that's it. If you saw Fantastic Four, right there, I hope it was good. I'm going to go see it on Monday. Right now, Demon Slayer is the big movie here, and it is taking up every IMAX screen, but one. So I have one chance to see it on Monday. I put it off. I can't go see it tomorrow because it's playing at like 4:30, which is right in sumo time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've heard good things. And but yeah, tomorrow's all about sumo. So I will be here tomorrow night, not live, but I'll make a sumo summary show for day 15. But then I'll also do a wrap up in about a week. And Patreon, lots of coverage over there. So if you're a Patreon member, arigato. And we'll see you over there tomorrow with lots of stuff to look at and cheer for. Okay, anything else? All right, guys, thanks for coming by live with me. Have a good rest of your weekend. And most of you, it's just starting because it's still Friday for some. No, I guess it's Saturday for all of you. Saturday morning for the North Americans and etc. Okay.